Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Academy, powered by Verizon. I'm Mazel, joined by Joshi and Rafa yet again, and we got to call Rafa out because FlyQuest, they have not secured the top 6 just yet. One
I'm
more
so
win.
sorry.
We're
One more win.
close.
Evil geniuses
I'm
are
sorry.
locked out, but you have paid for your sins. It's okay, Rafa. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I see. I on my spreadsheet, there's like I have a giant like list of okay, if this happens and this happens, and like checking all the games, and I just had in my head tied that okay, because of EG's win con was FlyQuest need to lose all 4 of their games, and then EG need to win all 4 of their games. I also tied in that as soon as FlyQuest win 1, not only EG are out, but also FlyQuest are in.
Yeah.
It's only the former that EG
Yeah.
are
So
out.
it's not quite right. We still have, if FlyQuest win one more game, they're locked top 6. But
Exactly.
Immortals technically still in the running. They need to win the next 3 games. And FlyQuest need to lose the next 3 games. But that means that Immortals, they still got to play for this one. They still
absolutely do.
need to try and take FlyQuest down.
They really do. And to try to piece together what happened to that first game, we'll get to that conversation a little bit later because it's halftime show, and we got to have a little bit of fun with it. We're bringing back something we played on A-Stream yesterday. We changed the name a little bit. Joshi, you'll be very familiar with this one. Rafa, I'm very excited to get this one to you for the first time. Dodge, Duo, or Delight. So I have chosen 4 trios of players. Between these 3 players, I'm going to need you to choose who you would dodge if you saw them in your ranked lobby.
Oh, this is FLK.
Who you would,
okay.
who you would duo with and ask to carry you, and who's a bit of a delight when you see them in your lobby. Who you want to put a little smile towards. So you guys get the premise.
We want to be a bit more, open as well, right? If you happen to run into one of them at the grocery store and you were talking some mad crap about them on the cast, you might need to back away from them as well.
Well, I might make you guys write letters to the players that you choose for each designation.
I did thank you notes before. I could do sorry notes. I apologize.
I'm sorry for flaming you on the broadcast.
I'm sorry, Tomo.
All right, so you guys got the premise. You guys got it down. You ready for Dodge Duo or a Delight?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Our first trio is going to be FlyQuest Academy UG, TSM Academy's Takeover, and FlyQuest Academy's Tomo.
UG, Takeover,
Dodge,
Tomo.
Duo, Delight.
Oh.
They're hard, man. They're really hard. I had some really tough ones yesterday, but I do have a lot of the same players on the broadcast today, so I had to try to change things up a little bit. I have been trying to take players from the broadcast
you know
that
what?
we're on. So.
I'll go first because I know for a fact Josh won't do the same thing as me.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I will duo with Takeover because he is an insanely talented mid laner, and he has improved his playstyle so that he is willing to play for jungle, or
that's why
since
you
he's
want to play with him.
or since he's a better mechanical player than me, I can just play for him and let him carry my games, and then I would enjoy that partnership a lot. For Delight, I'm gonna say Tomo. I'm gonna enjoy a delightful treat with Tomo because he is a good dude and he's super chill to talk to. And I think even during the Cloud9 Academy days when I first saw him in 2019, I was like, yeah, this guy is like got a good vibe, man. So like, getting like an ice cream sundae, watching the sunset at Santa Monica Boulevard,
together.
And
nice.
which is
which is awkward, really awkward.
Is awkward because now I have to dodge Yuji. Now multiple people like thinking, what the heck? Like Yuji is probably one of the best junglers in Academy. Why would you ever dodge with him? Because I am also a jungler, guys, and I'm going to get severe anxiety playing with Yuji because I can't play any other role as confidently as jungle. And if I play jungle and I make Yuji role swap, and all I'm thinking is that Yuji's gonna just be judging me the entire game, and I'm gonna perform worse, and I'm not gonna perform up to expectations, and and the performance anxiety just gets it gets too much, man. So Yuji, it's not a you thing, it's a me thing.
I've seen Mark play one character outside of the jungle competently.
I thought you were gonna make some pun of like it's not a you thing, it's a G thing.
It's a G.
Like,
G.
You just did.
It's not you, it's G.
It just flew right over your head. I don't know. You just missed it. All right, we got some nice
All right.
explanations. The backstabbing from Rafa. How about you, Joshi? You got UG
You know,
takeover
mine's
and
similar.
Tomo.
I'm gonna have to delight Tomo as kind of an apology for how much flame I was giving him earlier in the day.
Okay.
You know,
Pop
maybe we
off
could
king.
give him some Turkish delight as well. He had a great game today. He was playing quite well yesterday as well. So maybe a little bit too hasty with some of the things we've been saying. You know, we gotta say sorry for now, but. We're gonna go with a very similar thing, actually, right? Takeover and I would off-roll each other. I'm gonna have to dodge him, right? I don't
Oh
want
my
to play
God.
anything else. I also play mid
You
lane
guys are
these
copping
days.
out today. I don't like it. I need hard reasoning. You guys
I'm
are
just
copping
saying.
out.
It's
I'm
not
just
your
saying.
delight. Yeah, you know, like I cannot play with someone that is my same role. Otherwise, I know I'm going to
You
be
don't
judged.
believe in their carry enough to off-roll? Wow, that's saying so. That's
No,
not a real
I
duo,
believe,
is it?
No. I believe that Yuji could carry me off roll. That's why it makes me feel anxious. Because it's like, what if we just let Yuji play jungle, man, instead? And I'm like, man, I can't even play my role in front of these guys. Like, I can't impress them. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta say, I got another good friend. He off-rolled me years ago, and ever since then, we've had a co-win rate of 30-something% since then, right? Like,
Nice.
that's what happens
success.
when you off-roll your friends. It just doesn't work out, man.
All right. Well, then what is your dodge?
Oh, takeover. But I will duo with Yuji.
Oh, sorry,
Because
it was
I-
dodge and then yeah. Wait, no, I swear you said duo. Never mind.
Nah, I'm gonna
going
dodge
crazy.
takeover. Sorry, dude.
Wow. Okay.
But also, Yuji's just a very sweet guy. He's
He
just
is.
very mild-mannered. And I get the sense that when he plays with players like Diamond, who are a little bit more vocal in their games, he tends to play really well. And I tend to do that too. Mark can vouch for that. Like, Marco here,
Very vocal,
do your
very
Raptors.
vocal.
Yes.
Marco, farm your camps, please.
Oh no. All right.
Stop ganking my lane. I don't need help.
Well, we made it through the first one. I don't know if we're actually making it through all of them. I love the discussion we're having, so it's fine. I want to go to the second one though, because I feel like this one's gonna be a little bit more difficult. At least this one would be difficult for me. It's would you dodge duo or have a delight with Diamond, Tomio, or Mia? For me, this one's a little bit different. Wait, why is Tobo? Never mind. I read the wrong one.
You said
Yep.
Tomio, right? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Tomio.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
Duo with Diamond. I love
Just
talking to
instant?
Diamond. He's super chill. Yeah, no, 100%. Diamond
Okay.
is super chill, and I don't like, even if I know he is way better than me as a player, and I would not feel the anxiety of him judging me. He would just be like, "Hey, man, it's okay," you know,
It's
just
okay,
like.
just chill. Go
Just
farm your
chill,
camps.
Like, yeah,
Chill
like,
out,
dude,
dude.
just farm your camps. It's gonna be okay. Like, you know, don't worry about the first dragon. We're just gonna give up the first dragon, the second dragon. The enemy jungler is not real. He can't hurt you. You know, they're not gonna invade you. I'll put up vision for you. Like, I just feel like Diamond would help, you know, guide me through the troubling times that is solo queue. Delightful delight, Tomio, dude. Like Tomio
He's so-
is such a fun person, and you know, in interviews sometimes he is more on the shy side, but when you get him to open up, he is so hilarious. He is so funny, man.
Yeah,
and
go watch
He
his
really
like
streams.
is.
His
Yeah,
Champions Q
honestly-
streams are so funny.
They're so
his
good.
Champions Q streams
So
are the real
good.
delight, and that does mean I would dodge Mia because
Yikes.
I don't know them. So you know.
Wow.
I actually
Wow.
am like, I have the same answers as Mark
Oh
for
my
almost the
God.
same reasons.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Like, you know, I would definitely duo with Diamond. He's a super chill dude. I know he was friends with, you know, Mad Magical for a long time before. So, you know, if he can handle Magical, he can handle any of us, right? At the same time, you know, I have fun
True.
watching Tomio stream. He's just a very fun person to be around. And then unfortunately, that leaves me. I don't know him as well. Their play has been fine so far, but when you look at Diamond, who has been one of the better supports and has been such a strong shot caller for the league, and Tomio, who's just hilarious, I feel like there's no competition.
Okay, interesting. I like the extra explanation there. Poor Mia left down in the dirt.
Poor
I got
Mia.
it. I got you.
We'll
Mia.
get to know you better.
Yeah, we'll get to know you better. But anyways, we'll do one more, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the game. But the last one is going to be Saligo, Kumo, or Joey. Would you dodge, duo, delight?
Delight
for these
Joey
three?
every time.
Delight
Every
Joey. I
time.
figured. I thought that was the
Every
easy
time.
one.
Like,
I thought that was the easy one.
that's the easy one for sure. You take a look at all of the things that he's been doing. If you take a look at the house tour, right, that guy is
Yeah.
one of the most effortlessly funny people I have ever seen. But who
He
else we
is
got?
a beaming personality too.
Yeah, it's
like
hilarious.
it's just like we saw him at Houston at the LCS, and he was like doing like interview content for Immortals, and I was
so funny.
And it was so weird being on the flip side of it, because we've interviewed Joey so many times before. So when he came to interview us as like, oh yeah, you guys are fans coming into Houston LCS, we're like, dude, we've interviewed before. Shut up, this is part of the bit.
We're doing a bit. All right, so both of you are deciding Joey for the delight. Now you got.
What are the other two again?
You don't even remember. Oh man,
Saligo,
bad.
Saligo,
Joey's
and
just all
Kumo.
of them. It was Saligo and Kumo for the other two. So you've got Dodge and Duo left
Well,
on your options.
after
Wait, Saligo plays chess. Or at least he used to. I'll duo with him, and sorry, Kumo, you're the
Sorry,
last one.
Kumo, you don't play chess. Get good, kid. I guess that's just it.
you know, I'll also do it with Saligo as a jungler. Saligo, one of his most played champions this split, Lissandra. I love ganking for Lissandra's point and click, stun, CC chain, lockdown city. Even for a scrub like me, there's no way I can miss all of my abilities on someone's stun for like 3 seconds.
I've been hearing a lot of selfishness on here. It's all about me. It's not about the other person. Come on, they have.
This is not your delight. This is about what we prefer, Mazel. Like, what do you want from us?
No, I really appreciate you guys' answers, but it is a little sad to.
You know
to
what,
see
Mazel?
Kumo left
You know what
out
we should
the
do?
See, Saligo and I will play Blitz on the side whenever,
All right, Mazel.
whenever we have a queue.
What,
Mazel,
Rambo? What
okay.
we got?
When we get to the winner's interview, no matter who it is,
Okay.
now you gotta ask them. Dodge, duo, or delight for us 3. Boom! Flip the script.
Yes,
Let's go.
I'm sold. I'm doing it. They probably won't know who we all are off the top of their head, but I'm down. I'm 100% down. Let's see though, because
Before we just get all ran checked by the
that's
player.
what I'm saying. I'm excited for it though, 'cause
Damn.
that sounds like it'd be good content. We post that on Twitter, see what happens.
True.
Tap the LCS, by the way. That was it for Dodge Duo Delight. Hope you guys had a little bit of fun with that one. We actually don't have time to talk about the game. We got to see Tomo show up in a big way. We were talking about him before the game started. We'll see if Arrow can do some as a return in game number 2, guys, as Champ Select is ready.
He didn't say it this time, Mark.
Well, you know what?
What are you taking? It? What is it? Scary
Josh,
clown.
Sometimes it is better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Actually, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. FlyQuest.
No
up
comments.
1 game in the series. Game 2. And
Game
as
2.
Mazel corrected me, they are not clinched.
They're
for
1 game
top
away.
6. They are 1 game away though. So one more victory for FlyQuest. They are in top 6, and they also end Immortals Progressive Academy's dreams of getting into the top 6, and they would be forced to go through the play-in stage.
Yeah, and so remember, as we kind of looked at that, I had probably one of my biggest pop-pops I've had in a long time, but it was because Arrow. But it's not entirely Arrow's fault in the entire game, right? It was a game that started going wrong at the very beginning. We already saw that Immortals, they went for this level 1 invade, and they got either hard red or just really unlucky that FlyQuest all happened to be there. And it allowed FlyQuest to come off the bat with a really large advantage. And so, because of that, one of the things that we've always been looking at with Immortals, as you called out, Mark, is they don't always feel like they're on the same page, right? It doesn't always feel as though they are making the same decision across the board. And I feel like, you know, while the most obvious example of that last game was when Kumo jumped over the wall near the bottom side red buff and the rest of the team was like, well, we can't get to you. I feel like that has been something that has been very typical of what Immortals have been doing so far, right? They aren't necessarily setting up their battle lines. They aren't necessarily all ready at the same time. As Chad hovers this Rengar, getting excited.
Do it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, yeah, Nar's cool. Nar's cool.
Alright.
See, the thing is that I got to talk to Chad before the beginning of the season. Stop the cap, pretty. There's no way you lock that in.
There's no way.
Don't even play with me. When I was talking to Chad at the beginning of the season, he was telling me about how I think Rengar is a really good pick coming into the season. With all the itemization changes, you can go Bruiser playstyle with him, with Divine Sunderer.
Okay.
Thank God!
So we got it.
We got it! Okay, we got to talk about this pick. So, even though Chad has a 50% win rate across the summer split, he has racked up some of the highest CS differentials and damage per minute stats with this specific champion in the Rengar. It is by far Chad's most comfortable and most stylish pick. And if Immortals Progressive are throwing a Hail Mary for a chance to clinch playoffs, this is one way to do it.
Yeah, and he's definitely played it in a couple of different ways, right? He's played 4 games of the Divine Sunder or Rengar that was originally the thing that you were kind of bringing to the attention, where he starts going with the lethal tempo and then just jumps on people because he's incredibly hard to kill, incredibly resilient through that battle roar. But he's also been willing to play the lethality, the more traditional style of Rengar, where you just jump on top of people and kill them from Fog of War. Now with the Tahm Kench coming through, it kind of forces him into the Divine Sunder playstyle, right? You can't necessarily one-shot anybody if Tahm Kench is going to be standing around them. You can't one-shot the Tahm Kench because he's Tahm Kench.
Yep. You'll effectively be trying to scratch a rock with a stick if you go full Assassin Rengar into the Tahm Kench.
Just makes me think of that really old comic with like the white ninja. And it's like, come on, do something.
Do something.
do something. That would be Rengar.
Yeah.
Please do something. And
now
it just won't have any effect.
Well, Chad's got quite the tall task ahead of him. He has one priority target in mind. It is Tomo on the Jinx, running it back after having a very, very, very solid game. Great positioning, kept himself alive, and as you called out, I think even in the last fight, almost Captain Jack-like cleanse, immediately getting out of the Amumu engage.
Yeah, I mean, Tomo's positioning and his mechanics in fights are normally pretty decent, right? Like, I think the one criticism I had of him in the last game was you saw at the very end, you could very clearly tell that he was A-moving instead of right-clicking his opponent or clicking on the person, because as he was chasing arrow at the very end, he started auto-attacking a ward. But, I mean, that's nitpicking, right? He actually positioned quite well throughout most of the game, consistently able to get out of team fights damage. The big thing that we're looking at for growth, though, is his macro positioning. He got caught out a lot earlier in the season, and against Rengar, you know, you have Tahm Kench to keep you safe, but it is a very obvious player, or a very obvious character, where you're just like, well, now I can't be by myself. I cannot sit in the bottom lane because Rengar will kill me.
Yep. For FlyQuest, I think the other big surprise factor is the Kumo counterpick of choice, once again, being able to get it into Vital, and it is the Aurelia Gnar. And as demonstrated by Darshan, if you get ahead on this Aurelia, the lane's over for Gnar. You do not get the play of the game again. So I wonder if Immortals Progressive are going to be a little bit more conscious about how to play around the top side and ensure that Vital does not get completely taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough position, right? This is the second brutal counter pick that Vital has had to play into, and he did a good job for the first part of the laning phase going up against the Tryndamere as Gangplank. But now in the Irelia matchup, it starts being bad at level 1, man. Like, it is not fun to play from the beginning. So we should generally expect in this matchup that if Vital is only down about 30 CS, he's doing a pretty good job in the matchup, right? Like, that is kind of the spot that we're looking at for Kumo versus Vital. And it's not as though he is useless after that. Gnar can still participate. He just needs to make sure that Kumo doesn't get off the ground, doesn't become a massive problem for the rest of Immortals, because they don't really have any true tanks, and Kumo has so many variety of items that he can actually build that it allows him to kind of deal with any kind of team composition that Immortals is putting forward.
I think the one caveat for Immortals Progressive is that they have a couple more reliable engage tools versus the game beforehand. I think their composition in game 1, which made it super volatile and very, very hard to execute, is that there's a lot of mobility. You have a lot of options to choose and pick your battles, but it does mean that you have to choose them well, because if you use your main mobility spell, it's also your main damage tool. And so if you use either or in an attempt to either escape or try to go in, then you're lacking an ability to disengage or be able to clean up the fight afterwards. Where this time, you've got Death Charge from Nautilus, and you have an Orianna delivery system in the Rengar. That is a tried and true classic. Brings me back memories of the old Curse days with I Will Dominate and Voy Boy, Rengar, Orianna Shockwave Ball delivery system. Maybe Chad and Pretty can bring back it here in this game too.
And the great thing about Immortals' composition is not only do they have this primary engage, they have a ton of secondary engage, right? Once this fight actually starts, you have the shockwave, right, which can follow up a play immediately, or it can be saved for a bit later on in the fight. Vital also loves when there's already a little bit of chaos so that he can actually find his way into the back lines. He generally can't be the one who's going to be jumping forward immediately all on his own. And so, Immortals, I like this composition quite a bit. It's very standard with a little bit of Immortals flavoring in the Chad, in the Rengar that he's going to be playing, and no level 1 invades immediately coming off the bat. It's not very Chad-like, but it is something that you might need to do if you are worried about what had happened in the previous game.
And I wouldn't mind if Immortals take a more lax approach this game. Yes, you do need to protect Vital from this Aurelia in the early stages of the matchup, to make sure that Kuma doesn't get insanely ahead. But other than that, Orianna Victor should be a safe matchup. Aphelios Nautilus versus Jinx Tahm Kench should be a relatively safe matchup, and it gives the time necessary for Chad to scale up and hit that first item.
I already feel as though... a little bit of a scoreboard bug skew though. I thought we were done with that. I hadn't seen it in a hot minute. But when our observers have a chance, if you could press O a couple of times so we can get the scoreboard fixed. There we go. We see these CS counting up. Vital typically at level 1 on the Snar will have to fight Kumo before minions start getting low. And it looks like he's done a decent job of keeping Kumo off the wave. And so that actually allows him to play the lane much more effectively when he's not starting off in a really rough position. So didn't get to see exactly how that shook out, but the results currently are looking quite good. And with Chad paddling towards the top side of the map, he's already doing the red Raptors Grom, and then he will grab blue. He will be able to help out Vital. So didn't see exactly how it shook out, but the results are exactly what you were wanting.
Kuma gets right on top of him, but Vital goes Mega, and that's a very advantageous trade for
Wow.
Vital here.
Wow.
Damaging a lot. Dude, Kuma is actually taking it to him, but the fact that Vital's still maintaining a huge health advantage, and Chad is already there, ready to assist in case Yuji shows up.
This is not how this matchup is supposed to be operating. Chad looking for a potential dive, but Yuji is in the wings.
Okay, Chad spots out Yuji, so they're going to call off the dive, but good smite steal away. It's a little bit of a consolation prize, despite the dive not happening for the rest of Immortals. But now, like we said, Immortals, you don't necessarily need to force the play. You just need to make sure that Vital is protected in the early stages of the matchup so that Kumo does not get ahead. And Chad is going to maintain his position, knowing that it is far more important for Vital to be protected than to go back to the rest of the jungle and farm his camps.
Yeah, I'm looking back through Kumo's history right now for the last time he played this, and I think the last time we saw him play Irelia was Season 9, right? It's been a while. I'm not seeing a pop up the rest of his match history, so... Oh, he did play it in Season 11. He did win on it one time, but now he's in a rough spot. Again, this is not how the matchup is supposed to go. Kumo is supposed to have a bit more control than this, and with Chad chilling up towards the top side, at least Yuji has more freedom to take away some camps.
Now, Chad did spend a lot of time, and he's spending a lot of time. Yuji is able to get a camp advantage over him, but if Chad's investment into protecting Vital goes their way, it will pay off big time, and what a risk! The investment goes the way of Immortals Academy.
Oh my gosh, if I'm Kumo, I'm so tilted in that moment, right? There's no way he's still here, are you kidding me? That is absolutely brutal for the way that Kumo has been playing this. At least he will be able to clean up most of these minions, but all the time that Chad spent up there suddenly has become worthwhile. He took a risk like you called out. Yuji was getting ahead of him in camps, but because the kill comes through, it ends up meaning that he's ahead of where Yuji is.
For Immortals Academy, I think going into this game, this is when you're going up against a player like Yuji, who has spent so much time during the off-season learning about lane matchups and learning how to play for lanes. Sometimes it is okay to make that play if you have the read on it. In a kind of a vacuum state, we don't normally recommend it, right? But this is the type of changeup you have to make in a series.
Yeah, I actually wonder which one of the players called for that, right? Because I know sometimes in our dynamic when we play, I'll be like, I promise they're going to go on me, just wait. Just wait. Give it another couple of seconds and they are going to jump on me. But that can be the call from the laner, but it could also be the play from Chad, like, hey, look juicy. Make yourself look attackable. give them a reason to jump on top of you. And so that's one of those things that I'm curious about, right? Because I feel as though it's probably a Chad call.
More than likely, considering that Chad does have the more vocal presence in comms during this part of the game, and that Vital is a newer player to the roster.
Yeah,
I think it's safe to assume.
I mean, Chad's also just like a louder personality too, as we see the double root. Going to be people backing away. Yep, even like during the house tour, right? He was chirping. Vital was relatively quiet, right? He's a very mild-mannered guy, at least in the content that we've seen of him, and during his interviews, you know, he was given like, you know, what do you think of FlyQuest? Or what do you think of what do you think of FlyQuest? What do you think of Dignitas? Oh, we're better. That's it. That's all he has to say, right? He's just so confident in their ability to play. And so now Immortals, much better game state than they were at this point last game. And as they pick up the first dragon for themselves, Yuji's also got to kind of be feeling the pressure because he was just farming away. He spent a decent amount of time looking for a potential game top lane, and then he never got to participate.
Yeah, and I think this is just also just good information tracking from Chad. After the play on the top side of the map, he knows that Yuji would be naturally returning towards the bottom side of the map, looking for another full clear rotation, trying to optimize his lead over Chad in terms of gold and camps. And with that, as soon as Chad clears his top side of the camps, he knows that, okay, we have a minute, we have a window here where we can take Dragon. Arrow and Joey had a beautiful, huge wave that they were freezing until it bolted up, and then they played off that timer, getting the first Dragon. And Immortals playing, honestly, just a more solid early game plan. They're not rushing things. They're taking things in a more calculated light.
Yeah. I also want to remark a little bit on the mid lane play, right? Because both... Oh, just kidding.
Once again, Chad tracking Yuji, knowing that his bottom camps are coming up, and Yuji wants to go for this blue buff here. Gets the flash out immediately. Diamond is rotating on over. Tomo also slow to the rotation, but Yuji gets the smite steal. And now, can they punish? Chad overextended. They take out Diamond, though, and Chad gets out alive.
Arrow flashing away from the Abyssal Dive, keeps them alive, allows them to DPS Diamond down very quickly, and ends up being another small win coming through for Immortals, punishing FlyQuest. And already, as we start to see Joey being a little bit more aggressive, not recognizing quite where the minions are, Immortals, they feel much more confident on the map. And Chad, is he going to do this? Does he have the health for this?
Battle Roar, baby. Watch this when he stacks it up.
I'm watching.
Okay, we're waiting. Oh, JK.
I guess he just does. Yeah, it just doesn't do that much damage.
He doesn't need Battle Roar.
Hey, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
Right, he takes it down.
Yeah, Rift Herald does
Jungle
not
privilege,
thankfully do. Rift Herald does not do that much damage, thankfully. It's
as
not
long as
like,
you dodge like the claw, right? You're generally fine.
But yeah, wow, this is really solid for Chad in the early game advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to a couple of risks that they take, right? Immortals are risk takers early on in the game, and Chad definitely leads that, right? The number of times where he's like, yeah, I can just invade this Lee Sin because he's not going to ward his entrances. I'm just going to take the level 1 fight, allows him to find some of these big wins. But I also want to return to the top lane, right? I was saying earlier, if Vital is within 30 CS, he's doing a good job. He's only down about 25 right now. Let's go, Vital.
Let's go, Vital. He's holding his own.
That is how brutal this matchup is, right? Like,
yeah.
Nara has trouble with characters that can get on top of you twice, right? If you can dodge away from the first one, you're generally good. It's very similar with a lot of ranged top laners, actually, right? Jace has a very similar thing. If you can get on top of Jace once, he will hammer you away and call it a day. But if you can get on top of him twice, he's like, oh. Right, Nar's in a very similar spot, right? He has one hop, it's on a 20-second cooldown, and Irelia can follow the first hop with her own Q, as long as you make sure you save it for that opportunity. And it puts Vital in a position where he has to play really, really far back. So the fact that they got an advantage there is giving them some good opportunities to play. And Spyrax, with no flash, he's now a target for the upcoming Dragon.
1 minute 30 still to play for. Immortals taking the extra time to set up vision in advance. This is remarkably a different Immortals from the game 1. making an engage, forcing out the Devour from Diamond. It gives Tomo a way to get out alive with a huge shield. Depth charge looking for Diamond, but he still has Flash available, so not sure how much mileage Immortals we're going to get out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, good reaction speed coming out from Diamond to instantly eat Tomo as soon as the hook comes out. FlyQuest were obviously ready for that, but now we get to start jockeying for the upcoming Dragon Mark as we see FlyQuest. Nobody on an entire item just quite yet, but FlyQuest, as they will have to catch this wave, will be a little bit slower, and as we see how much gold people are sitting on, I don't remember how many components they had, but I think Arrow is about a plate, maybe a wave away from his first completed item.
I think you're right on the money. And a 4,200
yeah,
gold.
1,200.
But the Dragon is coming up in 25 seconds. He's getting in his recall in right now.
Yeah, he's got it. Gale Force will be available, and Immortals are not so far behind. Oh.
Okay, we got a 1v1 between Vital and Kumo, and then it's just a poke ult. I've seen you do these many times, Josh, just saying, get off me, Kumo. Please go away. I want to push in my wave. Kumo's going to take the chance now that he's mini-nar, but good flash from the flawless duet. That could have been a window for Kumo to go in. Oh no! The shockwave ball delivery system doesn't quite land onto Spyrax. And you could see the thought process pretty using the shockwave in the prior skirmish, burning out the flash to guarantee that play. But Spyrax just a little too fast for the cat.
Yeah, pretty a little early on the shockwave. Their root hadn't landed, and so FlyQuest will be able to back away, and now they are going to be taking control once again of this river. Spyrax is going to be able to teleport right on back, and it doesn't look as though Immortals are immediately ready to contest, right? Vital is still up in the top lane. Kumo teleported there, and so Vital could try and teleport towards the mid lane, but he needs to not die. Okay, good dodge. I mean, that's the key, right? You need to be able to dodge away from the flawless duet, because if that one lands, then Irelia just gets a ton of damage. But now FlyQuest have to return towards the mid lane after their ill-gotten gains, and Immortals don't want to let them.
They will not guarantee the first turret going completely down. They will get it down to one more plate available. Diamond and FlyQuest just saying, back off, Immortals Academy. You cannot get any more plates out of this play, or at least take out the turret completely. And they do so with not really committing any of their ultimates there, just mostly engage tools that just makes them back off.
Yeah. Arrow looking for a play in the bottom lane as well, and it feels like there's a lot of disjointed bits of fighting across the board. We haven't necessarily seen the same kind of macro play that typified a lot of the mid-game of Game 1 in this series. And so it kind of gives us a little bit more time where we're trying to figure out what we're supposed to be looking at. But I feel as though, so far, we haven't yet had an opportunity to really look for the weaknesses of Arrow and Tomo that we were talking about at the beginning of the day, because the turrets are all still up.
None has gone down. Yeah, I think same time last game, bottom lane turret was already gone. It was just a massive advantage. But because Immortals did not fall into giving 3 kills in the early game. Oh, huge Meganar ultimate, but Kumo dancing around the minion wave. Vital trying to take up as many turret shots as he can. And he says, dude, I can't take any more. And they call off the dive.
Yeah, that was a bit of an ambitious play coming through from Immortals, but they do end up getting Kumo's flash because of it. They don't really lose anything either, as we do find... Wait.
What's up?
Is Vital's teleport just used? It's on cooldown.
I think he just used it to get back to lane.
But he's not in lane.
They made the play.
No, that's not fast enough. Something happened. Something happened. I'm curious if our observers can go find out why Vital's teleport is on cooldown now.
Well, there's a 3v2 dive onto the bot lane. It's not really a dive. FlyQuest were just trying to shove in the wave and go for plates. And Joey almost looking for a moment where the minion wave was gone and they could get turret aggro down onto Tomo. But still is able to walk out safely. No error from FlyQuest on that end. And this game, I'm not going to lie, Josh, even though Immortals having made advantageous plays and up 2 kills, FlyQuest have been able to equalize thanks to the gold that most of the laners have been able to accumulate throughout the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much quieter game than we saw in Game 1, right? You know, I don't want to say boring, but I guess like our first game was just so exciting, right? There's so much going on, and this one is relatively quiet. And so we're still waiting for both of these teams to come into the mid game, because if you look at how IMT's power curve goes, right? You have Arrow, who's, you know, he's not weak right now, but pretty on level 11, only one item. The aura on a shockwave just doesn't do that much damage. It has a lot more later on in the game. It'll catch out multiple members of FlyQuest, and so Immortals don't really want to fight just quite yet, and FlyQuest are also in a position where they're like, we could fight right now, but our Victor's getting stronger. He's on one item. He really comes alive at 2. Tomo really wants to get his second item. I think both teams are kind of happy to handshake, not really going for fights, but Immortals are the only ones who are making proactive plays around the neutral objectives.
First brick does go over to FlyQuest. It's in Tomo's pocket, but Immortals invest everything into shutting down Kumo. 4 members brought to the party on the top side of the map. And when we called out that you have to protect Gnar in the draft phase of this game, I'm not gonna lie, Josh, I didn't expect them to fully invest into it. I thought after the early gameplay that was gonna be the end of that, but yeah, they are saying, Kumo, you do not get to play the game.
Yeah, but this is also dangerous, right? It is a trade of gold, a lot of money going back and forth, and Yuji trying to defend the turret, but it's a bunch of gold getting traded across the map.
Heartbreaker U still has flash available, but Chad has popped the thrill of the hunt, can still look to jump on him. It doesn't look like he has the abilities to lock him down with the empowered Bola. So Yuji does manage to get out without having to burn a flash, and we've got 40 seconds until the next dragon spawns.
As they still continue looking for their opportunity to try and find their way in. Remember, all these players on both sides, they really tend to come online at 2 items, right? Tomo not quite there yet, Arrow not quite there, Pretty still just sitting on a tier, and so I feel as though both teams will line up and challenge for the dragon, but one of them will have a better position and the other one will probably just concede a lot of space, right? FlyQuest have been playing much more slowly, much more controlled than they had earlier in the season, and it's been allowing them to have a bit more success. I always look at FlyQuest games and think that they tend to go rather late.
I think FlyQuest are able to just get this one out. They already have the mid-wave push. They were the first ones into the river. They got vision control. Immortals are not going to be too worried about it, though. They already have a dragon apiece, so it's just the second dragon of the game going over to FlyQuest, and we are playing for Cloud Soul, so, you know, not the most threatening dragon. Still not something you just want to give up for free, but it's not something that Immortals will give their lives for as they return towards the top side of the map.
Yeah. So with all that said, let's go back to all the turret trades that we were looking at, right? And which players got a lot of gold, which players are going to be the big beneficiaries. One, Tomo, right? He got the solo bottom lane turret. That's going to be, again, about 600 gold going into his pockets right off the bat. He got a lot of money there. But Chad and Pretty were able to take the top lane second turret as well, and so they're going to be getting a fair amount of gold as well. And so Pretty and Chad suddenly kind of feels like they're going head-to-head with Tomo in terms of the priority and where the teams are trying to set up their gold, and generally for Pretty.
I like that. Joey Hex flashing towards the duo group, but then turning tail on a Spyrax gets the flash out of him, and a Devour used from Diamond, but now FlyQuest looking for the counter engage. Kumo having teleported in, finds the 4-man Vanguard's edge. Can he dash and weave? Can he look for resets here? But he takes a lot of upfront damage, has to get out, and gets sniped out by Vital on the back end. Watch for Tomo to see if he can continue finding resets and cleaning up this fight, but Arrow has a massive health advantage over his counterpart. Getting poked out by Spyrax. Good gravity zone, zones out Arrow away from being able to come back to the wave. Tomo's not going to be able to take the turret, but it's a huge wave shut down, and it buys enough space for FlyQuest to reset.
It's a 1-for-1 at the end of it, right? You're looking at how difficult it is for Chad and Pretty to find these successful ultimate combos. Diamond instantly ready with the Devourer to keep Spyrax out of harm's way, and it's just FlyQuest, again, looking to try and make this re-engage happen. But both the teams back and forth, looking for opportunities, looking to try and make these picks happen. And as you called out, I love the pivot that we saw coming out from Immortals as they try and make this play happen. They look at the duo and instantly recognize Spyrax. Nope, here comes the depth charge. And you would think that this might be the play, but Diamond instantly shutting it down. And now Immortals have to run away. Chad using the Battle Roar to keep himself relatively healthy. And then it's just about Joey and Kumo trading their lives here. Joey making sure that Kumo can't get in, and the eventual skill shot from Arrow picking him up.
And then it just becomes super messy from here. No one has any further engage tools. You have to play off of Diamond's Abyssal Dive, but it's so far into that choke point that FlyQuest do not dare to enter. So then we're back into this neutral state, Josh. Both teams, only 1,000 gold difference. Even less than that. Yeah. And yet, Immortals are the ones that seem to have the edge when it comes to overall threatening presence.
Yeah, they've been a bit more proactive across the map as well, right? You're generally seeing the Chad pretty trying to make things happen, whereas FlyQuest haven't made a whole lot of proactive plays, very reactive thus far. And this is where, you know, we kind of look at some of the players that we know are shot callers, right? And the first team that comes to mind with mid-games that don't do a whole lot is 100 Thieves. But this is another spot where you would generally look at players like Diamond, who we know has been one of the big voices, who is one of the shot callers during the mid-game for FlyQuest, and ask, how is he going to help this team really take off? Are there going to be ways where they can be a bit more proactive about trying to move people up, trying to take the top lane turret, build these mid-game plans? Because that is what allowed them to be, in some ways, one of the best academy teams when he was on Cloud9.
I want to challenge Immortals here. They have a solid couple of engage tools between Depth Charge and then the Rengar Shockwave delivery. But if you're just the first ones to get to the Dragon Pit, you have great zone control. You have an Orianna Ball, and if Vital plays off the Mega Timer well, it is extremely hard for FlyQuest to enter through their side of the map.
So Immortals, they're here very early. We saw some good counterplay on the other side of the map last time from them, but they are standing on a ward. Speculative hooks being thrown out, and they will be taking a lot more control over at this side of the jungle as Spyrex teleporting out. Ooh. Okay, Vital's ult will be back up. It's not going to be a big commitment of tools, but IMT, you can see that they are kind of itching for a fight, right? I know so many players in these kind of spots will just kind of get bored. It's like, man, it's been a while since I've died.
It's been a while since I've tasted the scent of fresh blood. I need to get a kill.
Need to get a kill. I actually had one player that used to play would be like, yeah, it's been about 5 minutes since I died. Let's see if we can make something happen. But Kuma at the same time, he got the top lane turret already. He's being left alone. Doesn't quite have the teleport up available. And so FlyQuest, as they return to this side of the map, right, your challenge seems to be going unanswered. Immortals will not be having control of this upcoming Dragon Pit.
And to be honest, because of them preemptively burning the Thrill of the Hunt, that is one pick tool that loses value and gives way for FlyQuest to get back in control. But this re-engage, though, could be big. Tomo a little too far forward, has the safety of Diamond to spin him back out, flashes away, and now has enough space to buy time. Shockwave finally connects in, but not enough burst and damage allows Arrow to clean up the remaining members of FlyQuest, despite 2 being extremely low. And Vital is mega, but can't find a way back into the fight.
And the Tom Kench yet again paying off. Any other support, maybe Thresh, any other support that comes through for Diamond, they're not able to make that play. But Tomo a little bit too far forward. That's what we were criticizing him for, getting caught out too often. But this time, Diamond yet again is there to keep him safe. It rewards them with their 3rd Dragon of the game and another kill. We are bang on even in terms of goal between these two teams. And so as we start looking towards the late game, I feel like it remains fairly even. The one question I have for Immortals, though, is how do you end up killing Kumo later on?
Oh, he's just going to go for the solo kill on the Arrow. The flash comes out. Flash is not going to save you. Kumo is super strong on the Aurelia already. 2 items have been built up, and yes, all the attention towards the top side slowed him down, but he has finally arrived at max strength. Vital teleporting and trying to salvage it. Goes down, and FlyQuest 2 kills for free. They have suddenly gained the entire control of the top side of the map.
And that's it. Arrow getting caught out yet again. This is one of the things that has been preventing Immortals from finding their wins. Kumo takes advantage of it. Now they're moving over to the Baron, and Immortals, they were in control for the first half of this game, but FlyQuest slowly clawing it back. Oh, punishing overextension coming through from Immortals, and as they pick up the Baron, now is when FlyQuest can come along.
And this is so huge for Kumo as a player, finding that opportunity, considering that this game, it was focused on by the rest of Immortals. They stopped him from getting that kill opportunity onto Vital in their laning phase. They put a Rift Herald to taking down 2 turrets and stunted him from getting gold. And in the end, it doesn't matter. Kumo still arrives all the same. Kumo,
inevitable, bringing you right on back to me, but that's the thing you gotta know up against Irelia, right? You see the 1 minion going to half HP, that's an access point. That's a security breach right there. Arrow going down, because he doesn't respect the range that Kumo can actually attack him from. And now FlyQuest with the Baron, they start pushing up. The wave clear from Pretty is not bad. He's level 16. He now has real damage on the Shockwave with a double needlessly large rod. But FlyQuest, they can play multiple lanes. Remember, Kumo got a turret and a half last time he was left alone.
Tomo doesn't have Flash still for another 2.5 minutes. That is a win con that Immortals can still play on. But front to back, okay, engage on the Diamond, forcing him to flash. That prevents some of the safety measures from this Jinx Tahm Kench combo. But they burned a lot of their engage tools, and Kumo looking for the flank. Chad jumps right on top of him. Vital scoops him up into the wall. Kumo gets swallowed up by Diamond and is saved from danger, and he comes right back on out, and he fires back with the damage, already finding Vital. A good shockwave, though, catches Diamond in the choke point, almost clipping Yuji as well. Kumo living to the very bitter end, and he's still alive! Kumo was blinking on 10% HP, but it's all that it's necessary to give FlyQuest the win.
Oh my gosh, Diamond yet again saving the members of his team as Kumo is playing a little bit too ambitious, but Diamond is there, and FlyQuest, now that they've taken down so many members, they should be able to open up the base. Kumo in one side, Tomo in the mid lane, the designated objective hitter, now having an opportunity to take down the objectives. They still have a minute left, and Joey and Pretty are getting peeled away to different sides of the map. They can't defend both turrets.
It could just be both inhibitor turrets going down. At least the mid lane one will fall. Kumo finally gets bullied off by Joey and Pretty as they overinvest into it. They save the inhibitor tower. The mid lane inhibitor will be protected for now, but this is such a huge blow to the defenses of Immortals Academy. They now know that one more bad fight, another ace could be the last one that allows FlyQuest to move on and clean up this series.
Yeah, and you said that the Cloud Soul, not the most impressive thing. Okay, Root coming through. Chad?
Spyrax still has Flash, and he's got Gravity Zone, and Chad is not going to be able to wither him down fast enough, but the rest of the Immortals want to capitalize. They're saying, just go, 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 go. Catch him out of rotation, but it's hard to catch them out of rotation when Diamond shows up to the party because he's got Devour, and that makes any playmaking ability from Immortals down the drain.
Yeah, no play, no play. Don't go forward here. There's no reason for FlyQuest to overextend into 5 members. As FlyQuest, now they have total control. Oh, okay. Yuji back in total control. And there was a little moment where they didn't have the control, but now they control the mid lane. They control access to the next dragon. As I start lining up, they only need to send one person over as they look to catch. No, they don't get Joey.
All 5 members of FlyQuest looking to push down this tower. Should fall easily. Diamond looking for Abyssal Dive. Immortals respecting the engage at 10.
Oh, Pretty!
That's a lot of damage, but clutch Devour from Diamond. It's going to save Tomo's life. Still has Flash available. Oh, that was so close for Immortals. They still want to go for the play. They think this is their best opportunity, but Chad is nowhere near because he had to recall, and then he was not able to be there to follow up with the throw of the hunt. Maybe they can go to the dragon and secure it before FlyQuest get there.
God, Diamond, the number of clutch Devours he has had this game is ridiculous, right? He saves Tomo there from almost certain death. The Shockwave actually catching onto the 80 carry to start off the fight. Could have been game ending with any other support, but Diamond is there to make the play, and it earns Immortals this Cloud Dragon.
Prevents Cloud Soul for now, but now Immortals Academy have to get out because Kumo is hunting with the Vanguard's Edge. Already lands the slow onto a couple members, but good zone control from Pretty with the ball placement stops FlyQuest from being able to catch up.
The IMT, they get away with another dragon. That's objective bounty getting picked up. You see the ping coming through from FlyQuest. Hey, let's push bottom lane. Hey, let's push mid lane. Let's get the open inhibitor, and Immortals they have to run all the way back. You can't recall there, buddies.
The slow trek back into the base, catching the waves in the mid lane. FlyQuest currently prepping up waves into the bottom side of the map, and a bigger wave is building up on the top side of the map. So soon Immortal's going to have to play the ultimate base defense.
Yeah, as this turret or the inhibitor going to be going down very quickly. The root does land on the Vital. He's not able to get in, and okay. Stays alive for a moment longer, but Pretty Shockwave is almost back up. Remember, caught on to Tomo last time, and you see how far back he's standing now. He doesn't want to make the same mistake.
He's being more conscious about it. He has Flash available as well. Pretty might walk forward here and fish for the Shockwave, but Minion Wave giving FlyQuest enough space. This is incredibly tense.
Yeah, I mean, once cautious, twice shy, right? Tomo got caught the first time. Can't afford to make it, and now he's standing so far back. I mean, on the one hand, it guarantees that he's not going to make those kind of positioning mistakes, but on the other, it means that this inhibitor takes a lot longer to go down, and eventually, Immortals Guard relaxes a little bit, and FlyQuest are able to pick up the objective. But, I mean, let's be real, the mid lane inhibitor doesn't earn them that much. They are much more interested in taking control of this top side of the map, and now Chad's probably going to have to use his ultimate just to get a bit more information about where FlyQuest are.
This will prevent the shockwave delivery system being as useful.
Yeah, they're hitting.
Immortals have... Blue ward is used already. They know that it's still at 11,000. Spyrex is walking up, controlling the zone with the gravity zone. Joey still tries to force his way into it, and FlyQuest secure the Baron. Chad now looking for the shockwave delivery system. Only on Dakumo so far. Good stun from Arrow, locking him down. It forces the Devour from Diamond. And now if you can find Tomo, but good flash. Vital looking for it, but he can't get in range. Only finds the scoop onto Diamond. And it's the fire back from Spyrax. The zone control, the Chaos Storm, ripping Immortals front line to shreds, giving enough space for Tomo to be able to fire back with a Super Mega Death Rocket. And now FlyQuest, they're the ones once again in control. All the tools have been burned from Immortals. There's no way that they get out of this. Spyrax even teleporting on the backside, cutting off their life support and the flank route. Immortals get aced and wiped, and FlyQuest will take them down in a 2-0 sweep.
And there we go, FlyQuest taking them down, securing their top 6 spot. Now, Mark, FlyQuest are guaranteed the top 6. Immortals cannot catch them. They are too many games behind, 4 games behind with only 2 games left to play. And so FlyQuest, as they clean this up, lock their top 6. They do not have to play play-ins, and they are looking in fantastic form as we start looking towards the rest of the season.
Congratulations to FlyQuest, official top 6.
Woo!
No more mistakes on my end. My bad for the first time I called it out on game 1. But with that, FlyQuest can be victorious and celebrate this moment, as now they do not have to worry about going through the play-in stage, as that can be a brutal part of the Proving Grounds, where it almost took the lives of some Academy teams the last time we looked through Proving Grounds Spring. But of course, for us, Josh, we're now looking forward ahead, where Immortals Academy, they're officially in the play-in stage. And for them, I think for their last series tomorrow, I think it's just now about, okay, guys, pick something that we want to perfect and look to improve as we get ready for play-in stage.
Yeah. Extra scrim block, but we'll have to look a little bit more on that. We will let that match sit up for itself, and we will see a bit more about that when they actually have to play tomorrow.
Well, for us, that is the end of the series, but it's not the end of the broadcast. We still got a winner's interview with FlyQuest on the back end of this break, so make sure you stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the LCS Academy. I'm here with the Verizon post-game interview, and I've got FlyQuest Academy's victorious mid laner in 2-0 fashion, so to speak, here with me, and I'm so excited to get to talk to you, Spyrax. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling confident here about halfway through the last week of the regular season in Academy Summer?
Yeah, we're feeling pretty good so far as a team, especially considering we 4-0'd this week. We still have 1 match left, but I think it should go pretty well. And also, during like the mid-season, we were kind of fumbling a little bit, and we lost quite a lot of games. So it feels pretty good to be in this position.
Let's talk about that a little bit then, if you don't mind. I want to talk about kind of that period of time for you guys, what kind of turned it around, how you specifically kind of tackled those problems. Let's start with the problems in general. What do you feel like were the biggest issues or in that situation?
I'm not sure exactly what the biggest issues were, but I feel like everyone individually like had their end moments every game, which made like the game's pretty hard to play. Like every game, like someone at random would just randomly end. But I feel like our lane phases have been much cleaner as of recently, and I think we're playing together as a mid jungle like a support pair pretty well. Like me and Diamond and Yuji are like actually moving on the map pretty well and getting vision together.
Was there any big like flip of a switch or anything that brought about that really nice trio of play, or do you guys just, having spent more time and kind of dissecting those issues, found what worked?
Honestly, not really. We just kind of played scrims, and I feel like one day, or like it suddenly just happens, where like we're all on the same page and we're playing well. So it's kind of at random.
I like it. Well, I do want to ask you a little bit about your final series of the regular season, at least. CLG Academy coming up. Do you have any thoughts about that matchup? Any thoughts about that series in particular?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to play them, especially because I'm against Triple, and I do think Triple is one of the better mids in the academy scene, and I'm also the one who's replacing him this year, so it should be fun to play against him.
Should be a little bit of fun there. So looking forward to that matchup in Pacific. But today, you guys locked in top 6 spot for PG. Do you have any thoughts about that? Do you have any thoughts looking forward to PG a little bit more now that you are locked into that top spot and top 6 at least, to where you don't have to play in the play-ins?
Well, so during the first and second week, we were like first place in the standings, and we kind of went down to like 7th place or something. So at that, like, when we were on the losing streak, I kind of didn't care about our standings. Like, I just wanted
Okay.
us to get better as a team.
Hey, it makes a lot of sense, and you're already looking a lot better. Then I just have one last little fun question here for you, Jalal. We were having a lot of fun on the broadcast. We did a little bit called Dodge, Duo, or Delight, where we chose 3 players. We had to choose who we would want to duo with, who we would dodge if we saw them in our lobby, or who we would get a little smile on our face if we saw their name pop up in our lobby, or if we saw them at the grocery store. So I don't know if you know who we are, but I'm going to put you on the spot, and now you have to decide Dodge, Duo, or Delight between myself, which is really awkward, Rafa, who is a play-by-play caster, and Joshi, who is a color caster. Who would you dodge, who would you duo, and who would you be delighted with?
What's delighted exactly?
It's just like happy to see, puts a smile on your face, a little dopamine hit.
Okay, I'd put you over the delighted person, and
I'll
for
take it.
duo,
That's a dub.
it's between Rafa and Joshi, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'd go with Rafa. And
Oh!
Joshi as the one who I dodged.
Rafa got the duo, and Joshi is dodged. All right, thank you so much, Pyrex. I just want to give you one last little bit. Do you have any shout-outs? Do you have anyone to talk about? Any statements you want to say before your guys' PG run?
Yeah, today's actually Phil's birthday, so if you, my previous
Let's
top laner,
go!
who's playing for FlyQuest LCS, so if you guys could wish him a happy birthday, that'd be really appreciated.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pyrex. I appreciate you, and good luck coming back tomorrow and finish out the season strong.
Thank you.